Well, good morning. Wrapping up the morning session, I'm Bryce Klontz, CEO of NewView Surgical. Excited to be back at LSI giving you guys an update on our technology. For those of you who do not know NewView, we're a Boston-based company developing novel and creative solutions in the surgical visualization space. And we've taken the mindset that today's visualization system and much of the equipment in the OR is complex, it's cumbersome, and it's expensive. And if we take a view towards simplification, miniaturization, and cost reduction, that we can truly create value across the value chain. So it's rare that you look at clinical outcomes, surgeon experience in the OR staff, perioperative time savings, reducing the stress of the perioperative teams before, during, and after surgery, and also have a conversation with administration about dramatic cost reduction in the surgical suite. So we've set our mission in place to address all of that value and bring products to market that significantly address all of those issues in an effective way. So this is our first generation VISIONPORT product. It's first in what will be a wide-ranging portfolio with what we're creating. So we've taken a high-end HD camera and placed it on the distal end of the access port. We've also built in vivo lens cleaning, lens washing, and complete defogging due to the proximity of the LEDs to the camera. And we've also built in a really innovative solution with mirrors and an optical tip for optical entry. So we're not changing the surgeon's technique when they're placing the device into the body. Now what this design does at the system level is it dramatically reduces the capital and the re-sterilizable capital, so the boxes, the control boxes, and the re-sterilizable capital that's used in the operating room every day, particularly to start out in laparoscopic procedures. Taken all that equipment and miniaturized it, placed a vast majority of that technology into that camera module that's at the distal end of the access port, but also taken advantage of that modular, miniaturized, lower cost system and developed a two-camera system, which we believe can provide a lot of advantages in advanced surgery and even robotic surgery, which I'll describe in just a moment. So this is a quick animation that shows the device. The VISIONPORT is placed through the abdomen with the same technique as access ports are today. Using optical entry, the obturator is then removed, and you see a two VISIONPORT scenario here. You've eliminated a port completely. You no longer have a laparoscope and a camera holder at the operating room table. The surgeons are complete control of the camera, and they can use a single VISIONPORT for a single port type surgery, or use two cameras, as is shown in this scenario, to get two different angles for multi-quadrant, more complex surgery. So you see the animation wrapping up there. So we've moved from animation to the actual OR and correcting a lot of videos. You can see in these scenarios, we're not in humans yet. We're marching towards that later this year. These are swine lab models, and you can see surgeons operating autonomously. They're standing at the table. In these scenarios, they've got two cameras. You can see the image up there in the monitors, and the surgeons are completing appendectomies, choles, gyne procedures, colorectal procedures, bariatric procedures with this two-camera system by reducing a port, not having a camera holder there to communicate with, and addressing all of the camera washing, cleaning, defogging scenarios without having to move the camera from the body. So a lot of very productive scenarios. This is a quick example in those swine models of a cholecystectomy and an appendectomy. Again, building off the images you just saw, these surgeons are operating independently. They're in complete control of their camera. They're using a 5-port in addition to our single VISIONPORT in these scenarios. So with the funding that we raised, which I'll talk about in just a moment, we are layering in software to continue to improve the image, and the system has all the capabilities that we'd want to continue to add in various features that are software driven, anywhere from tissue tracking to identification or to instrument tracking, tissue identification, and the like. So we're pretty excited about this being a foundational platform that we can build on as we move into the future. So will this have an impact? So I talked about a simple idea, placing a camera on the end of an access port, and we very much believe it will, and customers are coming along with us in that journey. This is recent research that we've done. which consistently shows that there are a lot of issues in the OR that still need a dedicated effort to create value in. Whether it's inconsistent image quality from re-sterilized scopes to staffing challenges that the hospitals and ORs are having today. Of course, the escalating cost of equipment, not only an original purchase of that equipment, but sterilization, maintenance, and repair, as well as downtime and just that pressure to turn around cases in these ORs are all issues to address, and then ergonomics as well. We continue to talk about surgeons, about a desire to continue to improve ergonomics, and as you saw those videos, you saw those surgeons, a very natural position with our camera systems able to operate. So this research was just completed, and we continue to build on this as we move forward, but it really highlights the fact that while there are laparoscopic procedures done every day with great outcomes, there are still many challenges, and we believe our simplified modular solution can really make an impact there. We've been pleasantly surprised by the enthusiastic response that we get from the economic side of that equation. So we're working a lot with surgeons, developing that clinical touch point, but talking a lot to the economic buyers. And they are enthusiastic in the idea of reducing cost per case, taking down the stress of that perioperative time period, moving equipment around, having backup equipment, and certainly impacting the initial capital purchase that has strained their budgets for years and certainly got a lot worse through the last couple of years through the pandemic. So it's all about capturing value across this chain. And again, with what I've shown you in our technology and our device, we can offer value through the surgeons to the patient from a clinical point of view, address the OR staff and the pain points that are addressed there, and have a real economic conversation with the administration and really take this staff workflow and clinical outcome triple threat, if you will, and talk value, which we're very excited about. So a quick update from our presentation last year. We received 510K shortly after this meeting last year in June. We raised $9 billion Series B off of that, the monies of which we have today. And those funds are affording a transfer to manufacturing with a path to get us on the market for our initial clinical cases late summer, early fall of this year. So we're at this really exciting time frame in the company. We're working through supply chain issues like everyone else is, but solving those, fortunately, and aiming for an initial market launch and a very controlled, limited market release, again, late summer, early fall. What we'll be doing in that market release is really working through the targeting strategy. We're very fortunate in this platform. It can be used for any kind of procedure in the abdomen or in the chest, but with an early stage company, with the funding we'll have, we need to focus. We'll be focusing first on general surgery, gyne, and colorectal surgery. Colorectal surgery, that two-camera approach, surgeons have found to be really productive. And I put in here amplify robotics. So this whole idea of using our technology for initial entry of robotic systems, but also this multi-camera approach to gather visual data from multiple points of view without wheeling in an additional laparoscopic tower, without creating an additional incision, without having a second camera holder, we can provide visual data from multiple points of the operative field in addition to the robotic camera and drive that machine learning and AI on all that work that's ongoing. So we're really excited about that. We'll also be working on which environment we enter first. So we'll certainly go to teaching hospitals where our device can complement teaching in a significant way. But we believe our value is really going to be generated in community hospitals and rural hospitals that need that turnover time. They're struggling with the staff. They don't have good camera holders. They don't have new capital equipment to keep that image quality where it needs to be. And they're struggling with all those issues I showed earlier. So that's where our value is going to be really realized. So we'll be balancing those different environments and driving data and early clinical results in each of those areas, working on environments, procedures, and then ultimately driving towards understanding our model for scalability in 2023 as we commercialize and go to market. So with that, thank you for your time. It's again exciting to provide an update, and I will be in the speaker room immediately thereafter and would welcome anybody coming by and answering additional questions and getting to know what we're doing. So thank you for your time. I think it's time for lunch. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and thank you.